boys and girls. Something I want to cover here for a minute. I've had several comments as of late from people who have been blocked from my channel because they're trolls. I want to clear something up for those of you who have not had the reason in your head to ask. The videos I've been shooting this summer since the 1st of July are not about wilderness survival camping. They're about how to survive when you're homeless and penniless, or nearly penniless. How to make use of your preps to get by when you've been dealt a shit sandwich for life. Do I use my survival skills? Absolutely. Are my summer videos this summer about my camp out meant to educate on how to survive in the wilderness? Well, in part, but it's also how to survive when you have a spouse stick you in the back with a big ass knife and hand you a shit sandwich and say, smile and say thank you. So yeah, it's about survival, but not in the terms of bushcraft wilderness survival. Even though I'm in a wild place, I'm not far from a main drag. Main road down there that you're sure to hear from time to time. It's about 100 yards from me, the main road. And getting up in here, well, if you don't have a 4x, you ain't going to get up in here. You're going to need a quad, or you're going to need a muley, or you're going to need a 4-wheel drive vehicle, such as I'm driving now. Unfortunately, what I'm driving now is an all-wheel drive, which means it sucks the fuel no matter what I do with it. There's no way I can lock out the front wheels and have them freewheel. But this is what the wife wanted, and this is what I'm stuck with. So, don't mind me, I'm just loading some audio files back onto my computer from archived DVDs. Bucket full of DVDs. The rest of the spindle. You see, I hope you can see what it says there. That says In Death Disc 2, the DVD. And there are at least 5 or 6 file folders on each DVD. And each DVD, well, let me turn you around here and show you the computer screen. This is where I'm transferring them to. There's 2 of them. One is fully transferred, one is partially. Each folder will contain several other folders, and each one of these folders, now that one's the unabridged version, will contain, oh goodness, look at this. This folder contains 99 files. Each file, now let's start with just this, go to file 2. We'll hit properties. And this particular groove music file, Rapture in Death, Disc 1, it's number 4 in the series. That length is 45 seconds. This next one, 713 kilobits. Each of these files are very small, another 45 seconds. This is from the unabridged version. Now, if we click back and click onto this disc, here we have the same 99 files. Properties. Details. 17 seconds for the close of the book, of the chapter. Properties. Details. 23 seconds. But when you put these all into one folder. Yeah, there's a minute 52. What I do is I will then copy these files, and you notice how they're all consecutively numbered to 99. Then if we go and go back here, I'm not sure if I did this or not. Nope, these are also 1 through 99. And when I load these onto my iPod in folders, each folder will play, and it's an hour or so, and then I just have to tell the iPod to switch to the next folder in line. Now, eventually, I will edit these all down into 3 or 4 pieces in each folder. It's the same as editing together clips of video. I just haven't gotten around to it because I wasn't yet into editing video when I started working with these. And, well, this one DVD has been running for 5 minutes, and it's roughly a third of the way done. A little more than a third of the way. Now, I listened to these five stories almost 5 years ago. That's when I started doing this. Now, also in here, here are the 2 that I'm transferring back. And I also have this. These are 4 that I've just recently added to my computer and have not yet been burned to a disk. Then, let's see, where is it? Okay, not in this folder. Let me move this. I'll bring you back in a minute when I have a bunch of these audio books on here. I showed you this folder. Well, up here I have New Unread, Laura Lippman. And by Laura, I have By a Spider's Thread. And this has not been ID3 tagged at all. I just got it burned on to the computer, and I've never gone back. And here we go, No Good Deeds, same story. Another Thing to Fall. Again, no ID3 tagging done. That's why it's in a folder called New Unread. I haven't done anything with them. Not Ready to Burn folder. 2.96 gigs. And here we've got stuff that's anything but. Here I've got forms. And here I've got Wallpaper Changer. John Wayne Filmography. My AT&T account Poker Rules Guide. There's not actually 2.96 gigs because it's already been burned out of here onto disks and deleted from the computer. I've also got some other stuff on here. Where was it? Let's go down here and type in AUDIOBOOKS. File folder, last modified quite a while ago. Here we go, John Lescroft. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 books by him. These have been ID3 tagged, as you can see. This particular one's called Second Chair. If I remember correctly, it's about a violin player. And The Suspect, Betrayal, Treasure Hunt, Damage, The Hunter, and the Ophelia Cut. And then files about the author and so on. His bibliography and so on. Anywho, as you can tell, I like audiobooks because I can multitask. I can listen to these. Let's go here to this and this. Click on that.
Camping Chair by John Lesqua.
The point is, I can set these up in a playlist.
Almost all our faults are more pardonable than the methods we think up to hide them. Francois de la Rochefoucauld. Part 1. Prologue. Only 4 minutes remained in 16-year-old Laura Wright's life as she came out of the bathroom of the small apartment on Beaumont Street in San Francisco. Her eyes glistened with the residue of recent tears. But in the bathroom, she'd splashed water over her face and washed away the smeared mascara and makeup, and now her skin glowed. A damp tendril of blonde hair hung over a broad, unlined forehead. She walked through the tiny living room and over to where Mr. Mooney, her drama coach, leaned over the kitchen table, making some notes in his neat hand in the morning.
Okay, the point I'm making here is I can set those up, the entire book, in a different player that will create a playlist and play them one right after the other. And I can let that play and I can listen to it while I'm doing other tasks. You see, I don't want this to come off as know-it-all kind of thing. But I have an extremely high IQ. And therefore I bore very, very easily. I've said this before, and I've caught flaming flack from a lot of people when I did. I'm not trying to come off as smarter than everybody else. How do I want to say this? I probably am smarter than about 90% of folks I meet. But I keep myself dumbed down because people hate a know-it-all. But when you have an IQ as high as mine, it requires a lot of stimulation to keep you from getting bored. Let me quote a very famous person. He started a club for smart people, and he set one of the requirements to get into the club to be an IQ of 10 points below his own or greater. Because if your IQ wasn't higher than 10 points below his, you could not stay in a conversation with him for more than 5 minutes. And 5-minute conversations are too short and boring for his bother. Quote, Albert Einstein. And I don't think anybody will argue that he was a genius with a 162 IQ. That said, when I was last tested for my IQ, it was in the high 190s. So that's why I keep myself dumbed down, because there's a TV show that I've recently become aware of. It's about a fella who's got an IQ in the high 190s, and he's got a crew of other geniuses helping him, and they go out and they solve problems. Trouble is, most folks can't stand him because he talks down to them, and he just plain knows more than everybody. And he's not ashamed to say so and show it. Well, I've always tried to keep from doing that. I try to share my knowledge freely, for the most part. Yeah, I have run a school and expected people to pay for that knowledge, but only out of their own choice. I do share some of it here on YouTube freely. But here's the point. Unlike Mr. Walter, I try not to act the know-it-all all the time. I try to act like any common Joe. And I think most of you will agree that I do a pretty good job of that. So let me point something out to y'all that you may not be aware of. And I only have a minute or two to get this crossed. most of you are aware of a group called the Smothers Brothers. Or at least I certainly hope you're aware of the Smothers Brothers. Well, the Smothers Brothers was one guy who was always smarter than the other, or at least seemed to be. Well, now let me share a little fact that you may not be aware of. The brother who played dumb was actually the smarter one of the two. His being stupid was just an act, because it is far easier for a dumb person to act smart than it is for a smart person to act dumb. And this should show you why the one brother was so much better than the other, because he was so much smarter than his brother, but yet he played the absolute dolt. So a lot of people, they say, oh, Embarato's just a dolt. Think about that. Ooh. So with that, and a salute to the Green Cup Club, I have a doctor's appointment to make for 8:20 this morning. And it is now 7:55. I've got 25 minutes to get across town. Peace out.
By the way, don't forget to